We start the episode here, week 9. It is the trade deadline here in our Cleveland Browns Madden 25 franchise mode. And despite the fact that we are 3-4 with a losing record, I certainly don't think this team is in a position to be sellers at the trade deadline. We've had an incredibly difficult schedule, and the win we had last week instilled a lot of confidence going forward, I think, for the upcoming schedule. I still think this can easily be a playoff team. We just need to get the ball rolling here in what is a very difficult AFC North. As you can see, the only team with a losing record is the Cleveland Browns so far this season. The question remains, though, if we're not going to be sellers, are we going to be buyers? And before we answer that question, I do want to get into this defensive back breakout here. Kalen Bullock, who had a breakout scenario earlier, and it said he didn't get it, but then he got injured, and that's the reason he didn't get it. So I guess he got it. I don't know what just happened. He already has superstar development. What? And now I guess this will be for XP in addition to that superstar dev upgrade. Don't get me wrong, he's had a good year when he's been healthy. So we add another player with superstar development onto a defense that's really loaded with those. Okay. So I guess while we're here on this screen, we can talk about whether or not we should be buyers here at the trade deadline. And ultimately, I think we're pretty good across the board, at least in a spot where I don't think a trade would upgrade a starting position. But the one spot that I think could use an upgrade would be that third safety spot. That player does come onto the field at times, and you know, when Kalen Bullock got injured earlier this year, we were down to a 63 overall day 3 rookie, and if that's something we can get for cheap, is just a better safety depth piece, then I'd be willing to move off of a day 3 pick to get that. But other than that, I think we're actually in a really good spot. We're either good or we're developing at most spots here on our roster, at least to the point where I don't think anybody on the trade block would be an upgrade for us. So let's go see if we can find a third safety that might fit our needs this season. Here on the trade block, we could make another trade here with the Texans, looking for somebody potentially young. So a lot of these guys are pretty young here. There's a star dev. Let's see if this guy's got any speed on the Lions. 5'9", 208. Wouldn't really have interest in coming back to Cleveland because of him wanting to play in a warm weather state. He does have pretty good speed, though. That could be an option. Let's go ahead and look at strong safety. What about a 22-year-old Frank Haskins? Ooh, 84 speed. Not gonna do it for me there. Otherwise, that could have been fun. That's inside the division, so we won't go there. What about Trevor Black at 24 years old? Another zone archetype kind of player. I don't actually know exactly where the Browns fit in terms of historic championships. Does that count? I think Trevor Black, he's at least semi-interesting, and I think he'd be cheap. Let's see if the Titans would be willing to move off of him. Now, remember, we don't have a first or a third in this upcoming draft. So moving off of another pick already makes our limited resources even more limited, I doubt a 6 would be enough to get it done, but ultimately that's kind of all I'm willing to offer, and it's not even remotely close. Which if it's that far away for a player that's kind of on the borderline for me of being worth it, then I just think we're not going to be able to get a deal done for another safety here to add to our depth. I can check again on the practice squad. I know moves are made there based on injuries, so I can see if there's an upgrade potentially to be had there. And on the practice squad, there's just not really much to get excited about. I think the only player with kind of an intriguing blend of overall and speed would be Bobby Hazelton, but he just has no desire at all to come to Cleveland, so that's gonna be a no. Julius Hodges could potentially, he has decent speed, but some of that other athleticism just doesn't quite match, and I just think we're gonna have to be thin at safety. That'll be a position that we look to upgrade in the off season, and we're gonna have to hope that our safeties can stay healthy for the rest of the year. We'd pick up a week 9 victory against the Raiders. We had them shut out through 3 quarters, but they made things look more interesting there in the 4th, and that will bring us up to 500 on the year. Richardson with another no interception game here on the ground. He'd also have 10 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. So in the last 2 games, 6 touchdowns, no turnovers for Donald Richardson. That's looking really good. Trending in the right direction here. Receiving wise, we had both of our top receivers go for 88 yards. Driver also would put in a score, as would Njoku for us. Defensively, sacks wise, we would have Branch and Myles Garrett split a sack, and then on the interception board, Kalen Bullock in his superstar breakout scenario would get an interception. It would just be 1 tackle in addition to that, so I mean, an interception is really nice. We'll see what that translates to with his breakout scenario. I felt just as locked in as I was last game, but I missed some opportunities. Defense did some good things, and you played a role in that. 4,500 XP for Kalen Bullock, in addition to already earning superstar development. All right, I'm risking it here. Let's do a text message storyline with our defensive coordinator. Hope this is a breakout. Need to shift our focus to the Vikings. Their offense has an advantage against our D overall. So let's talk to the defense about it. I think our defense has been trending up as of late. They had a really rough slate of quarterbacks, and understandably, they didn't do great against them, but last couple of weeks have looked good. 20 points allowed over the last 2 weeks combined. You're going to take that. And I didn't actually read this message. So what's our plan to deal with what? So I'm going to think let's get off some blocks. We're going to take some minus to tackle, but I feel like everybody's tackle is really high. So taking a minus to that might not be put us in a spot where we're terrible, whereas a +5 to block shed looks really nice for this matchup against Minnesota, who does have quite a potent offense, to be fair, with all those weapons. This Vikings game also has a little bit extra juice, seeing that it is in prime time, and that touchdown to interception ratio starting to look pretty good for Richardson here. We've been playing in prime time a lot so far this season. It feels like we're on the road every time we play in prime time, which seems a little harsh, but we'll continue this primetime slate. Going against the 3-6 Minnesota Vikings. Don't let the record fool you, though. This offense has a lot of playmakers on it. The Browns have advanced the ball here on their opening drive, been heavy in the run game, and they'll continue to be so. Richardson getting the edge inside the 25-yard line. Big pickup on the read option. He is excited about it. Has really upped his play in recent weeks. There has been talk in the comment section about potentially changing the playbook, but he is on a heater right now. And we're not going to be changing anything. From the 1. The give is to Anthony Davidson. He gets stuck behind his offensive lineman, but he eventually crosses the goal line, and the rookie speedster puts the Browns on the board on the opening possession of the game. It's been a different offense than we saw at the beginning of this season that was really struggling. After the defense forced a 3-and-out on the opening drive, the Browns now look to extend their lead. McFerrin breaks free. Outran his blocking there. Had he allowed Matt Driver to get that block, he might have had a lot more room to go. Also, if he had just been able to make that man miss. Still a great run. RPO, it's to the flat. Njoku hauls it in and picks up 6. Inside the 20 for 2nd and 4. Richardson gets sacked by the blitzing defensive back. Looked like he just didn't see him coming. He ran right into him, but he was right in his face. And I'm not sure how you don't see him coming. That brings us back for 3rd and 13. And Tony Stevenson gets laid on his back and is gonna be another sack for the Minnesota Vikings. And we went from inside the 20 to now having to attempt a 50-plus yard field goal. Been praising Donald Richardson so far this episode, but that was a rough sequence there, taking back-to-back sacks. Although, to be fair, I don't know if they were 100% on him with an unblocked defender. The Vikings have their first good drive going here into the 2nd quarter on their 3rd possession. McCarthy gives to Rachaad White. He has a lot of space and picks up 9. Apparently, I was calling Sam Darnold Mac Jones last episode. Apologies to Sam Darnold. Make sure I'll get the quarterback's name right this time around. McCarthy being pursued by Gibson. Forced to throw it away. This is 3rd and very short here. Less than 1. The give to the back. Garrett did a nice job disengaging from his block, but White still picks up just enough to move the chains. McCarthy. Clean pocket. Finds Hawkinson over the middle of the field. For another first. Now at the 12-yard line. McCarthy in the gun. Sends Rachaad White out into the flat. Ben Folds follows him. Looking like some man coverage from Cleveland. And Folds was right there for the tackle after a gain of just 3. McCarthy over the middle again, and it's hauled in by Westbrook. JOK with the tackle there, so now it's 3rd down. We're inside the 5. This is where the windows get a lot tighter here. Can the defense hold up? And no, it's caught. Jordan Addison in the end zone for the first Vikings score here on Thursday night. Looked like Kalen Bullock, if he had just maybe stopped running, could have had an angle on it, but he didn't, and it's the Vikings touchdown. Cleveland looking to respond. They got a big catch from A.D. Mitchell to get them into Vikings territory, and I don't know where that pass was intended, but I think we got a pass interference call. I thought it might be roughing the passer, but there must have been something going on there defensively because that pass was really to nobody. Davidson on the carry. He's got speed, but Safety able to come across the field and make the tackle. Looked like he might have had some daylight there for a moment. Back to Davidson, and Stevens kind of just missed his block, but we still get the first down. Bunch formation on the close right. Richardson has a man wide open over the middle. A.D. Mitchell, who's made a few really nice catches today, gets us down to the 1. It is worth noting Matt Driver remains without any catches today, I do believe, and Richardson into the end zone, able to jog in. Way too easy for the Cleveland offense to respond to the Minnesota touchdown with one of their own. Richardson is playing with confidence, and I'm liking the look of it. Vikings trying to get something on the board prior to halftime. They do receive the second half kickoff. They're trying to use that kind of back-to-back possession. You can get here using the halftime break to your advantage. They'll pick up a first down here to Rachaad White on the dump-off. Now officially in field goal range. Down to 30 seconds left. They have just one timeout. McCarthy, the pocket collapsing around him. A really nice throw to TJ Hawkinson, but Ben Folds was right there in coverage. And forces the PBU. Jefferson matched up against Denzel Ward. Top of your screen. They'll throw towards the sideline. They do get out of bounds to stop the clock. 3rd and inches, 20 seconds remaining. Motion to an empty backfield. McCarthy has a man. He's got catch and run yardage, and he does not get out of bounds. Minnesota uses their last timeout, and this is where it gets dangerous in Madden. If you can tackle them in bounds here or get a sack, it could end the half, and that's exactly what we do with Mike Hall. Having another excellent season for us after a breakout campaign last year. And Minnesota, they took the risk, and they will get burned. Our team has been burned with the Madden clock management this year, and now it's Minnesota's turn, it looks like. The Vikings not wasting any time here in the 3rd quarter, getting back in scoring range. They'll have it at the 31-yard line. McCarthy has Jefferson up the seam for a big-time pitch and catch. The first time we've called his name so far. 1st and goal. That was a really nice play by the Vikings. A motion to an empty backfield again. They've liked doing this so far in this game. And Greg Newsome able to knock it out of the hands of Jefferson. That's not an easy task there. He'll match up with him again here on 2nd and goal. Running a very similar concept here with the man motioning out of the backfield. It's the running back on the catch here. Down to the 3 for 3rd down. Vikings going under center. McCarthy to throw. He's getting pursued. He had Hawkinson, but the pressure forced an errant throw. And it is 4th down. The Vikings forced to settle for 3. Another red zone stop by the Browns defense this season. But it's back to a 1-score ball game here with the Carlson field goal. Been a pretty heavy dose of Anthony Davidson on the ground in this game. I don't mind it. He's having a pretty solid outing. Richardson finds Njoku on the out route here, past the sticks. I would love to see Matt Driver get involved here from the 32. It is towards Njoku again. Very similar play to that Justin Jefferson one we saw get the Vikings down to the 8. This one gets Cleveland to the 5. I wonder if McFerrin is hurt, although if he were to be hurt, it would be Jerome Ford getting carries, not just Anthony Davidson. And it's Richardson with another rushing touchdown. Way too much space. That was another easy one for the Cleveland Browns offense. 24 points now on the board here in the third quarter. We're kind of getting to a point in the game where it seems like both offenses are cooking a bit with gas. Hasn't really been many short drives in this game. And that's a big play to Rachaad White. As the third quarter now is coming to a close, less than 30 seconds remain. McCarthy, he's going to step up in the pocket and slide down after a minimal gain. And that's going to be where we enter the fourth quarter. Minnesota really needs a touchdown here. To trim this to a one-score game. 3 tight ends for the Vikings. They're going to run it to White. Haven't actually seen them run all that much. There's a rookie, Sheldon Eddings. One of the best takeaway defenses in the league so far this year, but none so far in this game. Perhaps that graphic could be an omen of things to come. McCarthy, he's going down, and it's Daniel Gibson, the one who's going to take him there. Great job closing space there, and as soon as he tried to escape, Gibson was there to meet him. Once again, we force the Vikings to 3 in the red zone. They'll trim it to 11, but still, keeping that 2-possession lead is vital. We don't watch a ton of full drives when we hop into games like this, but this could be kind of a game-clinching drive if we get a good one here, and we're going to get an excellent start. Anthony Davidson. 9 for 57 now in this game. His best game on the ground so far in his young career. Richardson in the empty. He's going down. And the man who sacked him, Cooper, looks to be shaken up. On the play, he'll head to the locker room for the Vikings. But a loss of 9. On the play. Back to pass again, and Davidson fell to the ground. He had some catch and run yardage, I think, had he been able to stay on his feet, but instead, it'll be just a pickup of 5. The pressure was coming, so a good job by Richardson to get rid of it. He's going past the sticks on 3rd and 14, and a diving reception is made by Jerry Jeudy. Okay, what a play made there. That is a tight window throw. Jeudy extends on the catch. Fullback into the game, as is Ernie McFerrin. He's going to get stopped up for a loss of 1. If I'm not mistaken, we still have no Matt Driver receptions today. Richardson, he's gonna take off up the middle, get the first down, and decide not to slide, being a little risky there. But he gets us down to the 21. Richardson over the middle, and it's off the hands of Anthony Davidson. He hit him right on the money. I mean, that's his specialty. We brought him down in to specifically be the 3rd down back. You can't have drops like that. RPO, it's thrown for a pick. I just think he and Mitchell weren't on the same page there. His first pick in a few games. He's been playing so well. But the interceptionless streak was bound to end. I was hoping we could get to next week at least before it happened, but It looked like just a miscommunication there, honestly. Luckily for us, the defense would earn us a second chance at a game-clinching drive after forcing a 3-and-out, thanks to a Danny Gibson sack. McFerrin on the carry on first down, picks up 5. Down to 7 minutes. Richardson. Oh, he had Njoku, but he overthrew him. It wasn't the easiest throw to make, but it was certainly there. 3rd and 5. Richardson just can't take a sack, and that's exactly what he does. We were in field goal range. That sack takes us out of it, and we're forced to punt. So what can the defense do? Can they clinch this game since the offense hasn't been able to do it? McCarthy flushed out of the pocket, and I guess does that turn into a Kalen Bullock pass deflection? If so, I respect the hustle. Instead of just or was that Emerson? It might have been Emerson. They kind of look the same, semi, from certain angles. Points allowed. Season ranked 21. But we are trending upwards with the last few games. They'll go screen game on 3rd and 7, and it is wide open. Moving the chains. Now 3 tight ends in the game for the Vikings. They'll pass out of it. We send the blitz. A man is open for 7. 11 tackles on the day for Folds. He's been active. McCarthy. He's going to find Westbrook. I don't know exactly what this call is going to be. We did have some people running into each other. They'll call pass interference on us, I guess. McCarthy's going down, and it's Daniel Gibson for the 3rd time today. He is taking advantage of this matchup on the inside against an interior line of the Vikings that isn't quite as good as their tackle situation at the very least. McCarthy. He's lofting one deep towards Denzel Ward, and he gets the pass breakup. Oh my, the Vikings had Jefferson deep. But Denzel Ward interrupted the process of the catch. What a superstar play. Never give up, even though it looked like he was beat. Quick pressure there will force it now to 4th and 15. McCarthy. He's going to throw a pick to JOK. It was a tough man-to-man matchup, and JOK comes up victorious. And we do get that turnover that this defense seems to be so good at generating. Sacks and interceptions at the beginning of the year. I said that was going to be a key for our defense. We've been doing really good at it this season. The Browns would run the clock out after that and come away with a 24-13 victory over the Vikings. From 2-4 now to 5-4. The Browns are playing better. Over the last 3 games now, it's 9 touchdowns. Or did he have 2 or 3 touchdowns? Like I'm struggling to remember. It's either 8 touchdowns or 9 touchdowns to just 1 turnover for Donald Richardson over these last 3 games. The offense is doing better at avoiding their biggest weakness from last year, and it is just 2 touchdowns. So 8 touchdowns to 1 turnover over these last 3 games for Richardson, and we're 3-0 in those games. Davidson had his highest usage today, 14 carries, the highest of his career. Goes for 6 yards a carry and a touchdown. Richardson had 2 touchdowns on the ground. But something that's concerning me, no receptions for Matt Driver in this game. I don't know what I have to do to get Richardson to throw this guy the ball more consistently. Gibson had 3 sacks. Mike Hall added another sack. JOK with the 1 interception. And we have a winning record, which is always nice to see. The win streak would come to an end against now 4-6 Jets team, despite the fact that we did outgain them in this game. It looked like Snell had to come into this game for a while, so Richardson gets injured. He does throw another interception in this game. No touchdowns again. He rushed for another one, so he's scoring on the ground at least, which is obviously still very important. Looks like we got Driver some attempts on the ground game this time, and he also was pretty involved in the pass game, so you like to see that. Defensively, there was not a sack in this game for our defense or an interception. Believe it or not, we have another primetime game. I mean, it only takes one successful season, I guess, to be a team that is in the spotlight a lot. Monday Night Football this time, and unlike most of these primetime games, we are actually at home for this one. So this should be fun. It looks like Brock Purdy is not the quarterback here of the Niners. I do remember that now that I'm seeing another quarterback in Niners threads, that they could not re-sign him. So we'll be seeing a drafted quarterback for San Francisco in this game. Let's see if we can get back on the right side of 500 here on Monday Night Football. Offense moving the ball here after our defense forced a 3-and-out to kick this game off. Richardson has a man, A.D. Mitchell, for a gain of 8. I'll bring up 2nd and 2. Richardson into the flat. Jerry Jeudy on the reception. Tried to spin away from a tackler, but picks up the first down. First and 10, RPO. We had this pass picked off last time, and I think we should just nix that play, honestly. Almost threw another one there. That slant RPO is dangerous. I don't think Richardson reads it right. Donnie floating one up the seam, but he is making some risky plays here in the first quarter. Done well taking care of the ball, but lofting one here. Double coverage. Unable to make the play is Jamari Thrash. 4th and 10 here. The Browns will settle for 3. And they'll get the points on the board first here in Monday Night action. So let's see this Freddie Green in action, quarterback for these Niners. Kittle crosses the formation. It's a give to McCaffrey. He's stopped up at the line, and Brian Branch comes up and makes a play. Just the 2nd attempt for McCaffrey so far in the first 11 minutes of this game. I think San Francisco would want to keep him a little more involved than that. Green, right on cue, gets it to McCaffrey here in the pass game, making this a much more manageable 3rd down. Just 3 yards to gain. Juwan Jennings in motion. Green. And it's a leaping pass breakup by JOK. What a play by our linebacker there on 3rd down. This is going to be a 57-yarder. It's no good. The Browns take over with excellent field position. So a couple changes here to talk about for the wide receiver depth chart. Apparently, the game took Matt Driver out of the slot, so I put him back in it. And I also put him at the wide receiver 2 spot, and he does get targeted here. It's incomplete, but at least Richardson's looking his way. So maybe the number 2 receiver in the slot will get him targeted a little bit more in these games. He's actually being targeted when I just sim the game decently well, but when we watch these games, he just doesn't get fed the ball enough. It's been my biggest challenge here in season 2 of Browns franchise is to get Matt Driver the volume I think he deserves. But this drive, we've got the offense humming. 3 tight ends here for a read option, and Richardson takes a big hit. Lucky that that injury that we saw from last game wasn't anything serious. And we will not run a play here prior to the first quarter coming to a close. So it'll be 3-0 heading into the second here. Second and goal from the 9. McFerrin picks up a few. Probably would have gone to the air there myself. Hopefully set yourself up in a better position here on 3rd down to keep the run game open. And that one just never really had a chance. For the second time, we are forced to 3 here. Had a pretty good red zone offense for the most part this season, but we come up short in this timeout. San Fran moving the ball here with a chance to take the lead. That McCaffrey-Kittle stack is really intimidating. They do motion out of it, and they get McCaffrey one-on-one. I mean, that's a situation in San Francisco you love to see, but Denzel Ward makes an awesome play, attacking downhill and causing a loss of 4 yards, knocking the Niners back to the 45-yard line. They'll give it to McCaffrey, who's looking a little winded out there, and he'll just pick up one of those yards back. Setting up a long 3rd down. McCaffrey checks out of the ball game. Got both of those X factors in that left side of the formation, and it's going to be a Myles Murphy sack. Is Garrett injured, or was he just out for that play? It's tough to say. But Myles Murphy hasn't had much in the way of production in his time in Cleveland, but good play there. Browns ended up with kind of a rare these days 3 and outs. So the Niners right back to it here with another chance to take the lead. So far, though, the defense pitching a first half shutout, although they've allowed San Francisco into scoring range, or at least borderline scoring range, a couple of times in this game. Bouncing off a tackle there. To make it 3rd and 2 is Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey motions out of the backfield, then he comes back across. He was wide open, but so was Brandon Ayuk. Green had multiple options there for the first. Niners inside the 30 now. Green fits it into George Kittle. Nice throw. Kittle beats Branch on the coverage. Green back to pass again. Jennings hauls it in a very pass-heavy look so far from the Niners. I would expect them to run the ball a bit more. Just hasn't been the case. 2-minute warning now. There's a wide receiver wearing the number 20 in motion, and what a wide open play for Ayuk. No one even remotely close to him. What kind of coverage bust was that? It looks like some sort of zone coverage, and Bullock and Ward just both ended up covering the guy that was going across the other way. Cleveland able to get an explosive play to Njoku here to get into San Fran territory, trying to retake the lead. And a 5-yard pass that stays in bounds is not what you need at this point. You still had one timeout. You'd like to keep that third one in the pocket, though, so either downfield or towards the sideline, or maybe both. Judy stays in bounds. We get down to 11 seconds here. Got to snap the ball. Snap the ball. Snap the ball. Good night. And it's a touchdown with 2 seconds remaining. Judy with the score. I honestly just think Richardson doesn't like targeting Driver. No matter where I put him, he just targets Jerry Jeudy and A.D. Mitchell. That's just the reality of the situation. I'm happy for Jeudy, though, having a really good half. And Cleveland retakes the lead. Browns completed a 3rd and 20 to get down here to the 27-yard line. And surprisingly enough, it was a Matt Driver reception that got them there. Excellent throw by Richardson here to find Mitchell down to the 12-yard line. First down. Richardson back to pass again. He's being pursued by Nick Bosa. And this dude just keeps trying the same thing over and over again, despite the fact that it always results in a sack. 2nd and 21. Jeudy unable to get much in the way of after the catch yardage there. Well, we had a chance, so I don't mind the play call at all. But it's 3rd and 14 from the 16. This is a very difficult conversion. We'll go short of the sticks to Njoku, but the Niners rally and will be forced to 3. This will make it a 9-point game. But don't like how much we've been forced to 3 down here in the red zone in this game. This time it's the Niners using an explosive pass play to get into opponent territory. Brandon Ayuk with a big-time reception on this drive. 5-yard pickup there by the quarterback on the keeper. He goes over the middle, and for a second I thought that should have been picked. The defender had the inside track, but still hauled in for a minimal pickup. 3rd and 2, and there should be a false start here. We'll see if it was the defense that called it. Nope. That backs him up to 3rd and 7. Gives you a little bit more confidence defensively to hold him to a stop here. In motion to an empty backfield like they do so often here with this playbook. Ayuk has the reception. They've just been picking on that slot defender, Emerson. We usually don't really call his name much because he does pretty solidly there, but he's struggling against Brandon Ayuk. Green to McCaffrey. That'll pick up 5. It's been one of those drives where they're just picking you apart 3, 5, 7 yards at a time. And McCaffrey, another reception and another conversion, this time down to the 15. Always got to be aware of where CMC is. Green to the flats there. Barber on the reception. Another one of those pickups of 6. We're going to play soft zone coverage. San Francisco's just going to nickel and dime you all the way down the field, it seems. And great block there by 70. JOK looked like he might have been able to stop that at the line of scrimmage. Set his 1st and goal at the 2. Green has a wide open man, and that was a clinic put on by the Niners on how to pick apart his own defense. This is a big drive here for the Browns. 2-point lead at the 32. Read option for Richardson. Gains 5. A touchdown here obviously means a lot. Would extend it to 2 scores. Clean pocket for Richardson. He's going deep for Driver. What a throw! Hauled in for the touchdown. That Driver had a step, but it needed to be right on the money, and that's exactly what it was. Big time play for the 2 second-year pros. And that's exactly why I keep wanting us to target Driver. He's a big play waiting to happen, it seems, when we do. San Fran trying to stay alive in this game. Down 9. 6 minutes left, and McCaffrey is swarmed. That'll be a no gain on the play. From the gun, they motion McCaffrey out wide. He'll be guarded by Denzel Ward. Green has Kittle on the sit-down route. Rasul Douglas, the nearest defender in coverage. That moves the chains for the Niners. Green fires again, and it's hauled in traffic by Kittle. No, it's not. It's broken up. Brian Branch. I thought he held on. Brian Branch making the play there. Kittle crossing formation. He gets the ball. Ben Folds trailing, and he'll get him down, but not until he picks up the first. Been a Kittle heavy drive here. Haven't seen the defensive line really making much of an impact, it feels like, on the passing game. It is hard because a lot of these are pretty quick throws. But we need a big play from our defensive line here to help seal the deal. The good part is that a lot of clock is running down here on this drive, and we keep them out of the end zone on that play. We're down inside 3 minutes. Green, he's going down. Miles Murphy again. Myles Garrett's definitely hurt, because we haven't seen him this entire game. Green checks down on 3rd and goal. It is stopped up short. And that's going to get us to the 2-minute warning, so that's a big thing for Cleveland. San Francisco will go for 3 here, but they obviously wanted to score prior to the 2-minute warning, so they had that in their pocket for this upcoming Cleveland drive. So here comes Donald Richardson and the offense trying to secure the victory. He has had a couple of really nice touchdown passes in this game. We just needed him to close it out now, alongside the offensive line of running backs. 154, but San Francisco has all 3 of their timeouts. Trey Judy in motion. We fake it to him, and we give it to McFerrin. I do not like that play call at all. We can't have something that takes forever in the backfield. We know that San Francisco's going to be selling out on the run. You got to get something that gets upfield in a hurry. Not a long developing play. Back to McFerrin here, and he gets the edge. He gets the first, but he goes out of bounds. Saves San Francisco a timeout, but because they burned one on that first down play, they can't stop it for 3 straight plays again. Niners showing double A gap blitz. They drop out of it, but nice play there. by the DT. Watts able to bring him down despite being blocked. Davidson's not the toughest running back to bring down. You can get your hands on him. Another gain of 2 here, this time to McFerrin. So 3rd and 6. We will go to the air. I think I would have loved to just play it safe on the ground. We're gonna end up being just a yard short. We can waste a bunch of time though. We snap with 7 seconds left for some reason that I will never know. Oh my, what a punt though, down to the 1. I mean, you can snap it whenever you like if you're going to get it all the way down to the 1. McCaffrey leading running back receiving yards by 1 over Saquon Barkley, who is having an excellent year for my Birds in real life. Caught inbounds for a gain of 8. That's just to get out of the shadow of your own end zone, but it takes off a ton of time because this runoff time calculator in Madden is truly atrocious, which means I think that's pretty much going to be the last play. 18-second runoff. I think it was 17 seconds on an 8-yard gain is just atrocious by the game. Does not take 18 seconds to get back on the line after an 8-yard completion, but such is the way in Madden. That punt down to the 1 pretty much sealed the deal. And the Browns come out victorious. Another really good game from Donald Richardson. I know he has 8 interceptions on the year through, I think this is 11 games, which isn't ideal. But it's been really good for the most part. From the end of last episode and through this one. 24 of 31, 262 yards. For 77% completion, 2 touchdowns, no picks. On the ground, it wasn't a great ground game for us today. Needed to do it through the air. 6 receptions for both Judy and Mitchell, 3 for Driver. But he did have that awesome score. Defensively, it was only Miles Murphy who was able to really make any of the splash plays for us this week. A loss to the Cardinals here to close out the episode will leave us at 6-6. We just can't avoid 500. Whenever we have a chance to break away from 500, we just choose not to do so. Richardson, no interceptions in this game. Ground game didn't really get going. What a game for Jerry Jeudy, nearly getting 150 here. A 49-yard catch in this one. A.D. Mitchell also hauls in a touchdown. Sacks-wise, we get one for Gibson and for Myles Garrett. Interception goes to Matt Milano, so might have had a middle linebacker injury to Edens, perhaps, for this game. But 6-6 as we leave off here today. Let's go ahead and take a look at where the stats lie here for the squad. Richardson is now at 2849 yards on 72% completion, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's a much better ratio than he had last year. We have 497 yards for McFerrin, so he's not on pace for 1,000 this season. 6 touchdowns. Richardson has 4 more touchdowns on the ground, so that's a total of 21 touchdowns to 8 turnovers this year. Almost that 3-to-1 ratio, which is, I feel like, what you want. Jerry Jeudy, by far our leading receiver this year, at 956 yards, 5 touchdowns. Driver does lead us in touchdown receptions, so he has that to his name, but he is currently not on pace to reach 1,000 yards this year after doing so as a rookie. So last year he was listed as wide receiver 2 and he led us in receiving. This year, Jerry Jeudy has been listed at wide receiver 2 for most of the year, and he leads us in receiving. That's 2 different playbooks, so I'm not sure what's the relation there. I think we'll just see if I move around the receivers again. I've been doing that a lot. Sacks wise, we have 2 double-digit players, and Myles Garrett is not one of them. We have Mike Hall with 11, Daniel Gibson with 10.5. Garrett only has 4. So this has been a very 4 sacks through 12 games for Myles Garrett. It's even lower production than 2025 right now. Now, he had a 20.5 sack season in between there, but certainly after signing him to that extension, hoping for more than a 4 sack season from a guy who's 98 overall. Now, you could attribute these 2 Myles Murphy sacks to Garrett, saying he absolutely would have gotten them if he was healthy, sure. Interceptions wise, hasn't actually been as interception heavy of a season as maybe you'd think. We still have, what is this, 6, 8, 10 interceptions on the year. Certainly not bad, but Newsome hasn't been his usual ball hawking self that we've grown accustomed to this year. We're 17th in yards on offense, 2nd defensively. We're just 24th in terms of points per game on offense. We are 1st in terms of points allowed. I'm pretty sure that graphic saying that we were 27th or something was absolutely lying. I don't know why it was lying, but we've been listed towards the top now for quite some time after a kind of more sketchy start to the year. So that'll do it here for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like on the video, and we'll be back soon with more Cleveland franchise. And until then, go Browns. We got another primetime game on the schedule.